The film that you're about to see captures a bit, I think, of the magic of Mr. Mangum and of his program.
Quiet on the set. Stand by to cue talent. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
The process, the discipline, the time management, the decision making, the planning, the cooperation. These are lifelong developmental skills that we're after. And the byproduct is the television show.
Having joined Relay at 9, I was introduced to the broadcasting field. And it helped me decide what I want to do later on in life. And right now, I'm taking classes at North Carolina A&T as a broadcast production major. And had I not been in Relay, I wouldn't know which direction I would be going today. So Relay has helped give me a foundation.
Working with Relay gave me a perspective on life. I really don't know what I'd be doing right now if I wasn't working. You know, I didn't do the work with Relay because now I work for WB20. And it's kind of the same, but it's kind of different. Relay showed me the background of TV and stuff like that. Now I'm working in a traffic department out there, and I'm finding out the little nitpick that, you know, go behind the scenes and where the money come from, the TV station make money and stuff like that. So basically, it gave me something to do in life. You know, I was taking communications in college to go into TV production because it was something. And Ted had started training us when we was 11. I started when I was 11. And, you know, training like that, you just can't find for basically free because we didn't have no funding. And we was broke back then.
Some of the early experiences as far as like taking a lead, directing, going into a studio and having to learn everything that you had to do in there. And initially, a lot of people were like, no, them children can't do it, they can't do it, but of course we proved them wrong.
And how to use it is one thing, but there's more to the Relay program. The more being getting kids interested in education overall.
Cue talent. 5, 4, 3. Before I joined Relay, I was given a book to read, and if I read that book, I would come back and be on the show. And I came back and I read the book, and I seen that there was a lot of young people producing the show, and I decided I wanted to be a part of that organization. And I learned how to direct, run camera. I even had an internship at Fox 8 at the age of 12, and also had an internship at WQMG, all by being a part of Relay.
Relay helped me a lot with what I'm doing right now. I do a little bit of video production with my students. And I also had to turn in a portfolio project where I had to videotape different things going on in my classroom, and it was so much easier for me to edit because I had edited before.
I started working with Relay at about age 8. I was in 3rd grade then, and when I first went into the Relay, I believe it was the summertime, and first thing we had to learn was the basic skills in teamwork and working together to get one goal or to accomplish something. And that helped me when I went back to school also, as far as working together, because I had never really liked working as a team with people. I always felt that, the burden would be on me. But, it helped me to work with people a lot better than I had before I went into the program.
We'd like you to meet a group of Piedmont teenagers bringing city council meetings home to people who might not be able to take them in person.
And Ted says that he has a hard time coming up with enough money, however, to keep that 5-year-old program going.
He's
important and for those kids. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it seems to be, and there are people in other cities who seem to agree with that. In fact, there's some folks in Winston-Salem, Ted is telling me, that would like to see a relay chapter here. So
great idea.
Well, the skills these kids are learning are also paying off for us here at the Piedmont News Channel.
The downside to that story is that Ted says he has a hard time coming up with enough money to keep the 5-year-old program operating. Quite a story, though.
Hope he can keep it going. The relay program is open to all Greensboro kids, but because of its growing popularity, there's a long waiting list.
With the people at Relay, you see them, I think we went every Wednesday, so you get really comfortable in front of them. But when you go out in front of people that you don't usually see, these people are important. They're city council members and people in Charlotte who probably never, I know they never saw me before. That, it helps you to realize what your skills really are. Because there you feel like, at Relay in the studio, you feel like you can mess up and it'll be okay just because you're around people that you're comfortable with. But when you go away, you realize, you know, you have to be serious about it, you have to do and get it right the first time.
I still to this day tell people I used to have 2 TV shows when I was a teenager.
I joined Relay when I was 8 years old in the 3rd grade. And I guess my first impression of it was, I thought it was pretty cool to be able to use cameras and do my little show with kids my age and make it look like adults did it. I thought that was pretty neat.
It introduced me to some good people, and it was a great experience being able to have my own television show, learn how a TV station works. Now sometimes when I look at shows, you know, I pay attention to how they fade to black, how they go from different camera angles, things that I wouldn't have paid attention to, I don't think, as much, or known how it was going on if it had not been for Relay. Also, I remember in college, friends of mine that were mass communications majors, and they would talk about things, and I knew exactly what they were talking about. And it was so funny that they were learning about these things that, from my experience, I don't know, I could have gone in and pretty much done everything that they were doing just from what I learned with Relay.
Sit out. Pen.
You lock the pen down, then you lock the tilt down. Okay?
This is definitely a worthwhile program. It builds character. You learn at a young age responsibility, and it's a program where you're allowed to touch equipment without feeling like you're going to break it, because you're taught to understand and how to work it, and it's not real restrictive. So you learn a lot, and it helps with a lot of aspects of life that you need later on.
And I learned a lot with Relay. We was able to film different things, city council meetings, downtown, other projects that we encountered as well. It was educational. I was able to learn different or meet different friends in the process. Even people while we interned at WGHP, Channel 8, different personalities we were able to meet, even on the national scale.
I learned that, you know, the only thing I can do is be me, you know, and fulfill. If I'm a good person, I'm a good person. I'm a bad person, I'm a bad person. I decide who I am as a person. And what people perceive is what people want to perceive. You know, people are going to see what they want to see. But you are who you are, you know, and you are what you do. And if you do good things, whether with your life and impact others around you, then that's what really taught me. It's like, it doesn't matter how many people are against you. It doesn't matter what your message is, and, you know, for what odd, selfish reason they are against you, or, you know, just because they, you know, can't do what you want to do, or they just, you know, despise you because they won't do what you want to do, because they have self-interest. You know, I got to UNC, I was like, you know, I'm here for a reason. I'm here to get education. I'm here to succeed, because that's the only way we, you know, that's what Relay was about. It wasn't about videotaping, it was about information technology. You know, who would have thought, you know, 15, 20 years later, the world could be based upon information technology. And that's what, because when the internet came out, we were all like ahead of all of our peers. We all knew what was going on. You know, with the digital age, we were like leagues beyond the people around us, you know.
When we first joined Relay, we were, my twin brother Evan and I, we were 11 years old. And once we started, we were very intimidated about everything because everything was high tech and everything was going and everybody knew what they were doing, and we didn't think we'd learn what everyone taught us. We became friends with everyone in the program. We became, you know, and we gelled as a unit. And but the funniest thing I can remember from when I was 11 was actually seeing myself on television for the first time. And I was in awe. I think my jaw dropped to the ground the first time I saw myself on television. And now I look back on those tapes, and it's funny. It's like watching myself, you know, go back in time because my voice hadn't changed at that time. I wasn't as well spoken as I was, as I am now. Like I like to think. And it's funny. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it.
I was about to say the main part of Relay that helped me was basically teamwork, because you have to be able to work with teams. You have to be able to, you know, you have the producers and you have the director, you have the camera people. So it's also a hierarchy. You have to be able to work well under certain levels and be able to take orders as well as give them. So I learned pretty much a good deal about teamwork.
My name is Mary Wright, and I'm a founding member of Omoteco Guamazema, which is our charter school located in Durham, North Carolina. And I met Ted Mangum, a member of the FM group, a number of years ago, and he was airing a videotape that had been produced by some of the children in his relay program. And I was just extremely impressed with what I saw on that tape. And it stayed with me, even though I saw the tape some time before the school was actually open. And after I viewed the tape and I saw what a tremendous job the children had done on the tape, I felt that it was a program that would be very beneficial for our students at Omoteco Guamazema. And so I had follow-up conversations with Ted concerning the feasibility of establishing a relay program at Omoteco Guamazema.
As you know from being a part of Relay has continued to expand.
Working with Relay gave me a perspective on life.
It's something to throw those kids. It's a great idea.
Had I not been in Relay, I wouldn't know which direction I'll be going today.
There's some folks in Winston-Salem, Ted is telling me, that would like to see a Relay chapter here.
It's about people, you know, coming together from different backgrounds, you know, have the same goal in mind, and you work as a team. That's why I learned the most.
Ted says he has a hard time coming up with enough money to keep the 5-year-old program operating.
Relay has had a profound effect. My life wouldn't be going the way it would be if I hadn't participated in a program like this.
People were saying they had seen the show or they had seen past shows, and they were just wondering how I got the opportunity to do something like that.
Well, the skills these kids are learning are also paying off for us here at the Piedmont News Channel.
It was fun. It was eye-opening. We're not making any promises. We're just saying, hey, take this opportunity.
I joined Relay in 1988 when I was 15 years old. My first impression of the program was it was something that I hadn't experienced before. It was something different, so I enjoyed it.
I think Relay had a great deal in boosting my self-esteem. A girl my age, coming from, you know, a low-income housing development, it gave me something to do, motivated me, kept me busy, as well as learning a lot.
When I first joined Relay, I was about 8 years old. I was really impressed because being 8 years old and sitting in a TV studio was just rare. Just seeing the cameras and how TV looks behind the scenes as opposed to sitting there in front of the TV every evening, and Saturdays and Sundays was entirely different. And just knowing the fact that I'm in front of all this expensive equipment and machinery just, you know, made me feel really important and special, and being able to do things that my classmates couldn't do really, you know, boosted self-esteem and gave you a sense of pride that I'm pretty sure a lot of kids don't have a chance to have.
I want to start off by thanking all of you for coming, whether you came to support Relay and us receiving this award, because I've learned a long time ago not to speak in singular terms, and I do mean us receiving this award. I think one of the things that I will do at some point is to call forth the Relay students. I must confess that I think that Relay is probably more than anything else God's program, and I mean that sincerely, in that there have been times, as alluded to in the film, that Relay has not had funding, and yet I don't think the kids knew we didn't have funding, other than the fact that we usually pay the students to do the city council meetings, and we pay them to do some of the other productions, so that's a way for them to make money also, in addition to everything else. And there have been times when they called me and said, "Where's our pay?" You know, and it sounds a little too adult, too much like they're getting into the path early. But at least they know it's a constructive way of doing things and making money. But throughout those times, for some reason, the program won't go away. Certainly, I can't leave the program because, as Mrs. Morgan alluded to earlier, when you see the look and the sense of accomplishments on these kids' face, you know, you just can't walk away. I think that as the film alluded to also, I am a Vietnam vet, and a lot of Relay that you see based on my personal experiences, some of which was growing up in the projects with a mother who had to raise 6 kids on $21 a week domestic pay, and you know, she also raised us with very little money but a lot of love, and that's what counted most. And I think that that experience, along with Vietnam, I mean, being there, and I don't think I will ever be able to face the wall or see the wall in D.C. or wherever. It is a very traumatic experience, and I don't know, maybe one day I will be able to face the wall. But I think that the experiences you gathered there, if we get our kids on the road that we have them on now that say you are going to school in order to get a degree, not to learn, but to get a degree, that's the ruckus that we have our educational system in now. And what Relay is trying to do is say to kids, to say to our young folks, a child that's 8 years old makes decisions every day, particularly with the number of latchkey kids we have, whether I'm going to go outside and play ball or whether I'm going to do my homework. Well, I go play ball. That's where the child's decision-making process is. It's divorced of the consequences. He or she does not see that tomorrow they're not going to be prepared, so when the teacher calls on them, they're going to feel like the teacher's picking on them because they didn't have their homework. And it's going to snowball because they're going to start hating the teacher, hating that subject, hating school, on and on. We have to provide kids with the tools to make proper decisions. Children need to know time management. I've passed out surveys when the kids come in the program, so what do you do in the evening when you come home? And we talk about racism and the school system and things of this nature in terms of minority kids, black kids and all, but a racist white teacher has nothing to do with you playing Nintendo for 6 hours in the evening after school. It has very little to do with you talking on the phone because your parents aren't home, talking on the phone for 6 or 7 hours. I once saw a study that said in New York City, evaluation of the dropouts, and they 97% of them blamed everybody but themselves. They blame their parents, and we're a blame-oriented society. We are very much a blame-oriented society. And lastly, I'd like to ask the Relay students who travel to be a part of this, because this program is yours, to just come forward and help me carry this back. I'm getting elderly now.
but not in mine. So I'll just wait to see the day you say, my child. You are the gift of God's love. We'll show him thanks by sharing our.
If you had one word to describe your experience with Relay, what would that word be and why?
Work. We worked very, very hard. And I like the fact that we actually got something from all of the work that we put in.
Unbelievable. Just that, I mean, it opened doors for me. Like I said, for me being 12 to have an internship at the Fox 8, that's unbelievable almost. For me to be 12 years old, having an internship at a radio station, it's almost unbelievable. So, to do city council meetings. So, the organization is just simply phenomenal.
Teamwork, because it wasn't no one-man production or anything like that. It was, you always had somebody to run audio, somebody got to do cameras, somebody got to do graphics. You know, it was a whole lot of stuff combined that it's kind of hard to do it all at once. You know, it can be done, but at the same time, it'll be real hard to do it, like all that stuff in one by yourself. So basically, just the teamwork aspect of it.
I don't think I could put it in one word. Maybe my vocabulary is not that big, but I think I'd do it injustice if I use one word. I would put it in one sentence, in one phrase. Well worth it.
I guess grow. If I could describe Relay in one word, I'd have to say grow, because it's helped me to grow up and get ready for the real world. It's helped me to know how to handle certain things under pressure very well.
A great experience. I wish that programs like this was still around for the youth today, you know, seeing the turmoil that, you know, they face with, you know, all the guns in schools. You know, to me it was just an outlet, you know, to have a program like this, you know, as far as something to do after school. So I wish that programs like this were around because it was a big help to me.
One word that I would choose to describe Relay would be plentiful. Vast experiences, knowledge, meeting a lot of people. It's just, there are a lot of good things that come out of Relay that will help children, students in the future.
A blessing. That, to me, it was just a blessing overall. And to go in depth about that, because it just helped, you know, some people feel it just helped underprivileged kids, people who might not have, you know, done well if they had not entered the program, but even kids who had opportunities and, you know, both parents working and helping them out, it helped them too, because there are so many factors as a youth that you go through and that you deal with that this program just helped you deal with on a better level. And everyone who came into the Relay program, when they left as a better person. With anything that they took from the program, they left as an overall better person, and that was just a blessing in itself.
It's a compound word. Can I say a compound word? Okay. Life-changing. Because before Relay, I hadn't had any type of experience with other kids besides the Y or any kind of work experience. And it's life-changing because it taught me how to work with other people. It was like having a job, really, at that young of an age, and it taught me responsibility.
Without Relay, you know, in my college applications, I used most of the stuff Relay I did with Relay. It was just like, you know, it gave us, if anything Relay did was show people what you could do, you know? It didn't show what you are, because nobody really knows who they are, especially in the adolescents, because that's what most people were. It showed people what you can do, and don't be afraid of anything, because whether you like it or not, people are going to be against you, you know? But they're going to be against you not because of your ideals. They're going to be against you because they can't be you. And they don't want to be you, probably because maybe they just don't want to be great.
We always should give back to the community. I was fortunate enough to be associated with people like Irvin Brisbane, Gary Davis, and Ted Mangum. You know, those just a few of the people who interacted with me, you know, in the community. You know, Gary Davis, he passed away from a heart attack, but he was initially at Cablevision, and he was one of the main ones that helped us come in there and really get stuff going, you know, and I hold a lot of respect for him. Same with Irvin Brisbane, you know, he used to send me to camp. And he sent me to camp at A&T, you know what I'm saying? I was the only one going, you know, although I didn't finish it because, you know, I felt like odd man out. But, you know, he always looked out for everybody in the community. And Ted Magnum, when he came around, you know, it was like, look, this is something, I know y'all can do this. You know, he gave us the will and the drive. And, you know, I can remember him driving us all around in his Volkswagen. I think he had a Volkswagen. So, you know, it's a lot of people in the community who have helped us, you know, and mostly it was the ones who really didn't have anything to help us with, was the ones doing the most for us. So, yes, I want to give back, you know. That's #1 priority. We always should give back.
Originally, I was a part of the 13 original members who were a part of Relay, and through the guidance of Irvin Brisbane, of course. And I worked with other programs with Mr. Brisbane, who I feel, you know, was a great man. And I would just like to say that I thank him for giving me the opportunity to work with a program such as Relay.